The thing that I liked most about Michael Jordan as a player was the fact that I didn't have to try to guard him. If he had a poor defensive scheme, he was going to fill the hoop up until he either figured it out or the game was over and you lost the game. Some of his acrobatic drives to the hoop are just remarkable. You know, he can get past the defense and use a little bit of English off of the glass. The ball drops in so nice. It takes some really advanced skills to do that consistently. The 1988 All-Star Game was a showcase for Michael. Michael had figured out all the things he needed to know to be a dominant player. Everything. One-on-one, couldn't guard him. What Michael Jordan showed the whole sports world was the fact that you put the right people with him, he's going to lead them to world championships, without question. He was a prime example of excellence and a leader that would lead you all the way to the top, all the way to the top. That was basketball at its finest.
The L weaving its way through these quiet winter streets as all the action is inside the raucous Chicago.
Welcome, fans, to the All-Star Exhibition Game. Get up and get loud for your winner.
Welcome, everyone, to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. By my side, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter tonight, David Aldridge. I'm Kevin Harlan. And Clark, this is the second time Chicago has hosted this mid-season classic.
Yeah, you go back to 1973, that's when they hosted their first one. The East won it 104 to 84 back then. That was the lowest combined score in an All-Star game, Kevin, since the 1950s.
We'll see if then tonight, Clark, they can surpass that total.
I would think they could. No shortage of scores on either side. I expect an up-tempo, fast-paced game, an exciting game with plenty of highlights and buckets.
Cannot wait. And your West All-Stars, Pat Lever and Magic Johnson, the guards, Alex English and Karl Malone at the forward spots, and in the middle, Hakeem Olajuwon. For the East, it's Moses Malone inside, and Dominique Wilkins with Larry Bird the forwards. And in the backcourt, Isiah Thomas and Michael Jordan.
And you look at Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, rivals since college. Early on, no love lost between them, but over time, they've become friends.
And starting last season, Clark, Michael Jordan's scoring went through the roof.
Averaging over 37 points per game, partner, and he's kept close to that pace this season as well. Remarkable.
Amazing and remarkable, right. Wow. Clark, you see Larry and Magic together in those Converse ads. They've become really the faces of the NBA.
And, Kevin, I think they've inherited the mantle from the great Dr. J. He's done such a great job representing the league all these years, and certainly he's left it in good hands with those two.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. And the Eastern All-Stars favored to win tonight.
Star power and firepower. Veteran IQ and smarts, but you never know. The West has quite a bit of talent, too.
Indeed, they do. Quick start here for the East All-Stars in this one. And plenty of subplots to this game. For more, let's send it over to David Aldridge. D.A., take it away.
Thanks very much. Now this story has never gone away over the years, guys. Isiah Thomas is, of course, a native Chicagoan, but you'll still hear some boos today from Bulls fans. That's because at that All-Star game a couple of years ago, people questioned whether Isiah froze out Michael Jordan. And some people still believe it. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, that story has not gone away. Thank you, David. For what it's worth, Clark, Isiah Thomas denies there was a freeze-out, and Jordan himself says, I never said it, so what do you think?
But the reality is, we probably never will know the full story.
And Michael Jordan winning the dunk contest yesterday, Clark. Can he add to his trophy case tonight?
Kevin, I think his teammates want to see him win the MVP. I think they're going to give him as many touches as he needs to have a chance to do it.
Ooh, that'll be fun to watch. Jordan with the steal. And now here's Jordan pushing it up and look out! And Michael Jordan, not only last season's leading scorer by a mile, but Clark Kellogg this season, he is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year.
He is the true definition of a two-way player. Gets it done at a high level at both ends.
And the East All-Stars making a change here. McHale's checked in. Then for the West All-Stars, Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Olajuwon. Worthy comes in for English. Clyde Drexler has subbed in for Lever. And Kareem looking to set the career record for All-Star scoring. Isn't that something?
It really is. Needs just 10 points to do it, Kevin, and you got to love his chances. I mean, that's a layup for him, pun intended.
A good one. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the most All-Star appearances by far in NBA history. Clark, an All-Star in every season of his career except one. And in that year, he was injured.
Yeah, and at 40 years of age. Matter of fact, the youngest player tonight was only 4 years old when Kareem made his first All-Star appearance. That player, Brad Daugherty.
No kidding.
That's right.
Drexler passes to Johnson. Back to Drexler. Over Jordan. Offensive rebound. Here's Malone. And at last, they get one to fall.
And making his All-Star debut in his third year in the league, Karl Malone, one of 4 players in the NBA, averaging over 20 points and 10 rebounds a game.
And Michael Jordan won the dunk contest last night, and man, was it great. What a thriller. He and Dominique Clark put on a great show, and you could tell they both wanted it so badly. Perhaps the home court advantage gave Michael Jordan Clark the edge.
And there was another winner from last night, and that was Larry Bird, taking home the trophy in the three-point shootout. And he didn't even need to take off his warm-ups to handle his business.
Clark, somebody told me he looked at the rest of the competitors and said, okay, who's going to be in second place here? Who's going to finish behind me?
Sounds just like it.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. And Isaiah Thomas picks up the foul. That's his first foul.
Noble effort to take the charge, but I don't think he was quite set there.
McDaniels checked in for Karl Malone. Drexler scanning the floor. 5 to shoot. Now the pass to McDaniel. Drexler kicks to Johnson. Misses the 3. Outside, Jordan. Got it up. And the last second attempt doesn't fall. Michael Jordan getting it done for the East All-Stars. That quarter had to take a lot.
The West All-Stars.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. As these great fans hope Michael Jordan can bring home the win. And the MVP hardware. Dominique Wilkins out there with Bird. Then it's Thomas. Then there's Ewing. And it's Jordan in at the shooting guard position. So that's who the East All-Stars start the second with. And the shot goes in. Harkin amidst this All-Star celebration, labor negotiations between the players and the NBA continue.
Trying to find their way through this current impasse, Kevin, and looking to avoid any interruptions to this game that we all have a love affair with.
Yeah, I know you and I hope they can find some common ground.
Please make it happen soon. And the head coach of the East, Mike Fratello, his first time coaching in the All-Star game.
And tonight's All-Star MVP will have a $5,000 check presented in their name, Clark, to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund.
A great cause in honor of a terrific American.
How about that? Mike's a terrific friend of yours and mine, and Fratello's Hawks recently moved into first place in the East after the Cavs beat the Celtics. Clark enabling him to become the coach of the East All-Star.
So don't be surprised if the Cavs' Brad Daugherty gets extended minutes in his first All-Star appearance. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
And here early, Clark, the East has the edge.
You look at that team on the East squad, an embarrassment of riches, Kevin. And, you know, they've got so many weapons. I think it simply comes down to execution for them.
Second quarter, we're a little over a minute and a half in. Thomas with the ball. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. It's Jordan, top of the key.
You know, there's so much that's amazing to me about Jordan, but his endurance stands out. He consistently gets stronger, it seems, as the game goes on.
This is his first trip to the line tonight. And some changes here for the East. Mikhail comes in for Patrick Ewing. And it's Rivers in for Dominique Wilkins. The West All-Stars also changing it up. Malone comes in for James Worthy. And Aguirre subbed in for McDaniel.
And Coach Mike Fratello, a colleague of ours, coaching in the All-Star game, standing tall amongst a bunch of tall guys in the NBA. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, and, you know, I think that background gives Mike a lot of confidence as a coach.
And if there was a snub, Clark, for this year's All-Star game, many felt it was the sharpshooter Dale Ellis of the Sonics.
Well, you take a look at what he's done. He's the only top 10 scorer in the NBA who was not an All-Star.
The Tennessee Volunteers should be here. Here's Johnson. It's hauled in by the East All-Stars. Jordan's got rebound number 5 here tonight. And Clark, not easy for these coaches to put their stamp on the game. Only a 1-hour practice yesterday to get acquainted and move through some sets.
And you know, Kevin, it's not about necessarily practice time. A few offensive sets is all that's needed. I think it's how you manage the players and give them a platform to have fun and do what they do.
That's a good point. And now let's go over to David Aldridge with a report on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Thank you, Kevin. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the oldest All-Star in history. This is his 17th game. No one else has been in more than 13. To put that into context, there were 6 players in yesterday's Legends game that were younger than Kareem. Magic Johnson says he respects Kareem more than anyone I know because of the pride this man has in whatever he does. Kevin, back to you.
He is a very proud individual. David, thank you. And Kareem's coming out here, Clark, after spending 2 days in bed with strep throat. I mean, it's remarkable.
And, Kevin, that's exactly the pride Magic was talking about. And that's why it seems like every game we do, Kareem is adding to some type of record that he's already established. Tonight, he could very well become the leading scorer in the history of the All-Star game.
Isn't that phenomenal? They call him captain for a reason. He is truly the leader of this entire NBA.
Yes, sir.
From deep, Jordan, they grab their own miss. And the layup's good off the glass. Jordan's got 26.
Efficiency personified there. Jordan scoring at will, taking over the game whenever he chooses.
Rivers against Drexler. Over Rivers. The West again cannot hit.
Usually, guys, he's going to knock that one down from there. Proficient at operating in that medium range area. Michael Jordan using that strength of his to get into the defense to draw the foul on the way up.
And this is his second trip to the line tonight. Wilkins is checked in for McHale. English, he's checked in for the West. And so Jordan nails both of them. The West trails by 21. Down low. The vision of Magic Johnson is unsurpassed.
And at 26 points per game, Drexler ranks 7th in the league in scoring. His Blazers playing catch-up with the Lakers, though. Their improved defense has helped them overcome some early injuries.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. On the wing, Johnson, guarded by Jordan. Drexler passes to Johnson. Shot clock at 6. With the shot, Michael Jordan grabs the miss. Jordan's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Oh, good on the 3. And so it's the East All-Stars Sitting on a 21-point lead to end the quarter. They have made it very tough to get a shot up. And we welcome you back to the second half of the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. Great performances from these players, whether it's their first time participating or their 17th. The East leading by 21.
You know, you get into the latter stages of the game, and it's... normal to wonder who will take home the MVP trophy. It's certainly one of those accolades that's mentioned when you talk about the great ones.
Getting underway here in the second half. Here's the 5 for Brad Nelson. We've got Johnson. Malone is out there with English. Then it's Lever. And it's Olajuwon in at the center, locking down the middle. Here's Jordan. And Hakeem Olajuwon pulls it down. And of the players in tonight's All-Star Game, Clark, 2 have won MVP trophies in this game before. Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas.
And how about this, Kevin? Thomas has won 2 out of the last 4 years. If he was to get 3 MVPs, that would put him in some rarefied air, tying with Oscar Robertson for second most. Bob Pettit is the only player to do it 4 times.
And the East with the lead.
Living up to that favor and top billing and giving these fans quite a show. You know, it's really tough to go up against Malone because he's so big and strong, which is why the defense oftentimes is forced to foul him.
Taking 2 shots.
Doherty's checked in for the East. Cheeks checks in for Doc Rivers. And both free throws good for Malone.
Well, I tell you what, if you wanted the template for the perfect power forward, it might be Karl Malone. I mean, he's got everything you want in a 4-man.
The pump fake kept the D off balance and gave him room. Jordan's got 4 points this quarter.
And, you know, most of these guys are accustomed to having their team's offense built around them. It's an adjustment for them now to figure out who's going to get the rock most of the time. Magic Johnson leads the league in assists, and he's also got the most assists in All-Star Game history. He processes the game at another level, folks. And when Jordan is in rhythm now, his pull-up game, deadly. Shoots it with such confidence.
Johnson finds Olajuwon. Some nice passing here by the West. Johnson, the pass to Olajuwon. Jordan's shot is off. And you think about adjusting, Clark, how about the all-star reserves? Guys that start normally are the stars of their team, now off the bench on a team of stars.
Kevin, excellent point. For players who are used to starting the game, probably a rare experience coming in off the bench and trying to get it going. But I think these guys so enjoy being part of this. That sacrifice is not much at all.
You're exactly right. Johnson against Jordan. Johnson kicks to Lever. English inside. Unable to get that one. Excellent D there from Wilkins.
You know, there's been talk about adding a third referee to NBA games. The commissioner and the rules committee are in favor of it. And they plan to put it before the board of governors at the next meeting.
Here's Johnson. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow.
2 minutes remaining in the third. 2 minutes.
Back to Jordan from outside the arc. And it's a new single-game record in scoring for the All-Star Game. Set right in front of us by Michael Jordan.
What an incredible athlete, Kevin. And it seems whatever he sets his mind to do, he can do it. Impressive.
To halt the run, Lever. The tip in on the offensive rebound. Lever's got 4 points now in the quarter.
And Fat Lever, snubbed a year ago, now a first-time All-Star, well-deserved. He leads the league in triple-doubles, one of the original stat sheet stuffers, averaging 9 rebounds a game as well, best by a mile for NBA guard. Love how Jordan uses his jumping ability on the offensive boards. I mean, this guy just does not give up.
And English kicks to Johnson. Pass to Lever. Now Olajuwon, defended by Cheeks. Olajuwon with incredible footwork for a big man.
How about this list? Players who have never missed an All-Star game in their careers. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those last 3 playing here tonight.
And the East with some changes. Moses Malone, he's checked in for Wilkins. And Thomas subbed in for Cheeks. The West All-Stars also changing it up. Donaldson, he's checked in for Olajuwon. Worthy comes in for Karl Malone. And McDaniel has subbed in for English. Bird's gone 2 of 2 from three-point land tonight. Johnson, the pass to Worthy. Shoots over Malone. Worthy, no good. And so Bird will bring it up for the East All-Stars. From deep. And they get it back. Malone is doubled. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And the shooting stroke of Larry Bird. As pure as it comes. Bird's gone 3 of 4 from distance. Only the 1 miss. Wow. And Magic Johnson continuing to orchestrate beautifully. And the 6'8" forward from the Seattle Supersonics, Xavier McDaniel.
Now in year 3, he's got to be excited, making his very first All-Star appearance.
Strong player from Wichita State. Lever the bounce pass. Here's Johnson. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in it.
60.
Welcome back to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. The grand finale of what's been a tremendous weekend to celebrate the NBA.
You take a look at the landscape of the NBA, and I tell you what, that Central Division, dominant. How about this? 36 games above 500 combined.
Thomas is out there with Jordan. Then it's Bird. Then it's Malone. And it's Doherty in at center. That's the 5 out there for the East All-Stars. Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for the West.
First team foul. Now,
and so here are the West All-Stars. Well, you look at that Central Division, all 6 teams on pace to make the playoffs.
And, you know, Chicago got off to that great start, Kevin. Then they cooled off just a bit. Now tied with Detroit at 3 games behind Atlanta. Those teams are breaks up pretty good.
Down the stretch here, the East, Clark out in front.
Getting it done. It's been such a fun game to watch. Entertaining from both sides.
Woo, it sure has been. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Moses Malone.
Getting to the line a lot. Kareem, adept at forcing and drawing fouls.
And both free throws good for Abdul-Jabbar. It's been a one-sided affair for sure.
It is obvious and clear who the better team is.
Has contact on the shot, and now a 3-point play chance as he'll head to the line.
Defensive foul, Martin.
Free throw good, Jordan. 1 minute now into this fourth quarter. Drexler against Thomas. Drexler passes to Aguirre. Back to Drexler. Five on the clock. Tries it from the top of the key, and it's in there.
And enjoying his finest pro season, Clyde the Glide Drexler making his second All-Star appearance. Worked over the summer with Kiki Vandeweghe to substantially improve his jump shot. And Commissioner David Stern in the house tonight. Since taking over 4 years ago, he's done a remarkable job helping guide this league to new unprecedented heights.
Exactly.
And now they're just 1 foul away from being in the bonus.
English, he's checked in for McDaniel. Outside, Aguirre. English against Doherty. They set the pick. Here's Donaldson. And it's the East with the rebound. Malone's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. One thing the league has done since Commissioner Stern has taken over, Clark, is really marketing the league around its stars. And I like that type of strategy.
I agree with you, Kevin, wholeheartedly. And what better time to highlight those great stars than tonight? Amazing talent, compelling personalities. The league is certainly on a great trajectory.
It absolutely is. And Kareem will need to get it going, Clark, to reach double digits.
I think his teammates have to do a better job of getting him touches. Just keep feeding him. He's more than capable of getting there. You know, I just can't get my head around this decision at this point. I mean, you got to keep the clock going right now.
Wilkins is checked in for the East. Goes up the baseline, and it's Drexler that time in the assist by English. And it's 6 points for Clyde Drexler. And if there's a rival for the size and athleticism of Michael Jordan Clark, it might just be Clyde Drexler.
I don't think there's any question about it, Kevin. The Phi Slamma Jamma alum can take flight with the very best of them.
Yep, great athlete. Such a wide open look.
You can just see how comfortable Drexler is in the mid-range area. He's got a really good touch for these shots.
2 minutes.
And Jordan gets it to go. Jordan's got 54 points.
Terrific focus to get to the basket there.
English looking around. Abdul-Jabbar passes to Aguirre. Back to Abdul-Jabbar. Pass to Drexler. Abdul-Jabbar trying to free himself up. Wilkins with the defensive effort. Here's Jordan. The vision of Larry Bird is not to be overlooked.
There's the peripheral vision we talk about. Bird finding a wide open teammate.
English dishes to Abdul-Jabbar. Pass to Donaldson. Some nice passing here by the West. And out of bounds. The East All-Stars will have it. And some changes here for the West All-Stars. James Worthy's checked in for Abdul-Jabbar. McDaniel comes in for Aguirre. And Levers subbed in for English. They get it back. Wilkins. And he lays it straight in.
And Dominique Wilkins is the go-to scorer for the Hawks. No question about that. And he's embraced that leadership role as well. Obviously a huge part of the Hawks' success.
Lever against Thomas. Here's Drexler. That ball. Great assist by Lever.
Whatever the defense gives, that's what he takes. A sign of a skilled offensive player.
Here's Jordan. And that one is good. Jordan's got 58.
And with this last run, they have shut the door on any chance of a comeback.
Thomas against Lever. .35 seconds left in the fourth. Nice D from Bird.
Boy, that defense smothered him in there. Love the intensity.
Here's Jordan. The East All-Stars tack on 2 more.
We know Jordan is a master from the mid-range, whether he's squared up or falling away. You feel like it's going to splash.
Lever passes to Worthy. And finished off by Worthy. Well, Clark, there was some question whether James Worthy would actually play in this All-Star game.
Yeah, he's dealing with some tendonitis in his knee, and because of that, I think his minutes very well could be limited.
Yeah, he's got to pay attention to the big picture, doesn't he?
Yep.
Lever taking his time here. And the Eastern All-Stars deliver. The favorites coming in. Clark, they did not disappoint.
Yet 79, the West 42. Thanks again for coming out to tonight's game. We hope you had a fun time.